everyone to please stand, and prayer leader, please lead the prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Once again, good morning, class. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So before we begin our class, let me share to you our classroom rules, in where classroom rules are very important to maintain cleanliness and order. Okay, so here we have our classroom rules. First is to sit properly. Second is to stay with your group. Third is to listen carefully. For the fourth classroom rule is raise your hand. Lastly, work quietly. Now, are you ready for some energizer? Okay, I can see that you are ready, you know? So now, let's have a game. Are you ready to play some game? So the game that we're going to play this morning is called Story Charades. So are you familiar with the game called Charades? Yes? Yes, so in our game for today, the Story Charades, so here, I have 5 mysterious cards. And so what you're going to do, or what we are going to do is, I have here also the bowl of names in where your names are all here. And I will pick one student to pick or choose a mysterious card and ask what is in the card, and everyone else will guess what is he or she trying to tell you. Now, am I clear? Okay, so are you ready? Can I see some thumbs up if you are ready? Okay, so are you ready? Okay, let's pick the first player, or the first one to pick a mysterious card. Okay, so I have picked Jam. So is Jam ready to pick the mysterious card? Okay, Jam. Okay, you can now pick the mysterious card. Okay, so Jam, pick this card. Now, okay, class, are you ready? Okay, Jam, you may now start. All right, okay, so I think everyone was able to guess what Jam is trying to tell you or trying to act. And everyone is right. It was Cinderella. So Jam is so good at, acting the Cinderella movie, right? So who among you here have watched the Cinderella movie? Oh, I can see that most of you have watched Cinderella movie, man. Okay, so can anyone share to us his or her favorite scene? Okay, yes, Erica. Yes, I also like the dress or the gown transformation. It was so magical, right? So I can see that everyone is really familiar with the story Cinderella, or the movie Cinderella. Okay, now let's move on to the next lucky player. Okay, so let's have the pick Lisa. Okay, Liza, you can now choose your card. Okay, so Liza have chosen the card. So Gly, you can now start. All right, so yes, it was so fast, no? I can see that you are all very familiar with what Liza was trying to tell you, no? Okay, so it was Spider-Man. So I can see the boys all looking happy because I think it's your favorite movie, boys. So can anyone share to me what his or her favorite pose of Spider-Man? So can I see some favorite pose? Okay, good job. Now, without further ado, let's continue. So the next one for the lucky picker is, can I see? So it is, who is it? It is Kyla. Okay, Kai, you can now choose from our last 3 cards. Okay. Okay, so Kyla have chosen a card. So Kai, you may now start. Okay, who gets it? From grade 4? Okay, can you say it again? Yes, so it is, Kyla, what is it? It is the Frozen. So for the last 2 mystery cards. Now let's go. Yes, let's have Charisse. Okay, Charisse, you can now pick a card. Okay, Charisse, you can now start. Okay. Yes, from grade 5, what was that? It was? Yes, it was Dora the Explorer. Okay. Last mystery card. Now let me call on Ira. So Ira, this is your card. Now you can now start. Go. Okay, from grade 6, what was that? Yes, you are right. It was The Lion King. So this is a very famous movie, no? Wants to be a lion. Can I hear some roar? Roar, yes. So I can see that all of you are familiar with this stories. So everyone, let's give a big hand to those who have acted here in our game, who have participated. And of course, again, let's give a big round of applause for everyone. Now, are you energized? Yes. Okay, you may now take your seat. Okay, so now let's have our attendance. So can I hear from the grade 4 secretary? Is there any absent? No? Okay, let's give grade 4 a big one clap. Okay, how about grade 5? Can I hear from the secretary? No absent too. Let's give grade 5 one big clap. And lastly, grade 6, can I Here from the secretary, is there any absent? Okay, that means everybody is present. Now let's give grade 6 one big clap too. And another 3 big loud claps for everyone because everybody is present. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let us can I hear from our weather reporter? Okay. Yes. So it's not windy. It's not raining. It is sunny. Okay, so our weather for today is sunny day. So yes, as you can see no, on our side, on our windows, it's very hot outside. So it's very important that we always stay hydrated and we eat our breakfast. Did you eat your breakfast for today? Did you drink water? Okay, that is very good. Now, where is our date to tell us the date and the day? Okay, so let us try the day today. Right, today is Friday. And to tell us the date, go on. John, go on. Okay, today is April 17, 2026. Okay.
Good day, learners. How are you today? I hope all of you are feeling amazing and great. Now, earlier, you did some short activity or energizer. Are everyone energized now? Alright, it seems like all of you are energized and ready for our next activity. If you are ready, just raise your hand and say ready. Alright, now you are ready for our next activity. So for today's activity, we are going to read a short story and answer some questions afterwards. So this activity will be done whole class, meaning all of you will participate. Alright, let's go. So you're reading the story. First, I will read the story alone. And then after, we are going to read together. And then lastly, you are going to read it alone and aloud. Alright, now let's start our story. Now, we are going to unfold the story. So the story is entitled A Rainy Lesson. So why is it a rainy lesson? Let's find out. One morning, Leo rushed to school without bringing his umbrella. Now, during lunchtime, dark clouds filled the sky and heavy rain suddenly started to fall. Now, Leo waited near the door, looking worried and watching his classmates leave with their umbrellas. Now, let's find out what happened next to Leo. Now, after a while, his friend shared an umbrella with him, and they walked home together. So the next day, Leo checked his bag and made sure to bring his umbrella before leaving the house. So now that I've read the story, were you able to understand the story? If not, don't worry, because we are going to read the story together. Okay? A rainy lesson. Now that we are done reading the story together, were you able to understand the story? If still not, don't worry, because this time you are going to read the story, or all of you are going to read the story alone and aloud. Now, are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, start! Now that we are done reading the story, the question is, do you understand the short story that we've read? Alright, amazing! Now give yourself a round of applause. Now, to test if you really understand the short story that we've read, we are going to play a short game called Raise Your Cards. This is how we are going to play this game. So all of you will receive 3 colored cards. Now each card stands for an answer. So green card if the answer is conclusion, and blue card if the answer is main idea, and yellow card if the answer is summary. Now, if you think that the answer to the question is conclusion, raise your green card. Now, if you think the answer is main idea, raise your blue cards. And if you think that the answer is summary, raise your yellow card. Now, you will only only raise your card after I say raise your card, and you will only raise one card per question. Alright? Now, if you are ready, let's start. Now, did everyone receive their cards? If yes, let's begin. Now, for our first question, we have... So the question is, or the statement is, being prepared is important, and kindness from others can help us in difficult situations. Now, what do you think the answer is? Is it blue, green, or yellow? In 3, 2, 1, raise your cards. Alright, I'm seeing some yellow, some blue, and some green. Now, let's find out the correct answer. The correct answer is... blue. So the answer to the first question is main idea. Now, if some of you did not get the correct answer to the question number 1, don't worry, because we still have 2 more questions left. Now, are you ready to continue? Alright, let's begin. So for question number 2, we have... so Leo learned from his experience and made sure to be responsible by bringing his umbrella the next day. Now, what do you think is the answer to this question? In 3, 2, 1, raise your cards. Now, I'm seeing some green, yellow, and blue. But the correct answer is green. So for question number 2, it's conclusion. Alright? Now, for those who got the correct answer in question number 2, give yourself a round of applause. Now, if you were still not able to get the correct answer, don't worry, we still have the last question. Maybe you'll get this right this time. Okay, for our third question, we have... So, Leo forgot his umbrella and got stuck at school when it rained. His friend helped him by sharing an umbrella. After that experience, Leo learned to be prepared and remembered to bring in his umbrella the next day. Now, what do you think is the correct color or card to question number 3? In 3, 2, 1, raise your cards. Okay, I'm seeing some yellow, green, and blue. But the correct answer is color yellow. So for our question number 3, we have summary. So the question or the statement is a summary. Now, to give a short recap, the first question is a main idea or the blue card. Now, the question number 2 is a conclusion or the green card. Now, for our last and final question, it is the yellow card or the summary. Now, I hope everyone enjoyed our mini game and reading the short story. I hope you've learned from the short story and from our short activity.
Now, let's go a little deeper and think more about the story of Leo. This time, instead of you just identifying the answers, we will try to explain how our ideas and understand why they are correct. Now, I will divide you into groups according to your grade level, and each group will answer some of guide questions. And these questions will help you practice drawing conclusion, identify the main ideas, and summarizing the story in your own words. Okay, so listen carefully, think critically, and be ready to share your answers. Okay, so I will choose 3 children or 3 learners from grade 4. Alright, who wants to answer? Okay, I see Kim raising your hand. Yes, Kim. I want you to pick the questions here. Okay, pick one. Okay, this is what we want. Alright, let's face the questions of Kim. Okay, the questions that she choose is what do you think they learned? Alright. What is your answer, Kim? Good answer. Now, this shows that you understood what happened in the story. Now, do you learn that we should be prepared, and that is how we draw a conclusion. Now, we think about what lesson that the character learned. Alright? So, who among you here forgets umbrella like Leo? Alright? It looks like some of you or many of you forget the umbrella. And I see that lots of you raising your hand. So let's make Leo as a lesson that we should always bring our umbrella so we won't be stuck at schools, right? Like Leo, alright? Alright, let's go. Let's proceed to the next student. Who wants to answer? Raise your hand. Okay, I see John raising your hand. Yes, John. So pick your question. Alright, this is what question you want, okay? Okay, let's face the question. Alright. John choose what might happen if he forgets again. What's your answer, John? Alright, yes, that makes sense, John. And that already happened, no, in the story, right? So you are using what happened before to guess what might happen next, diba? So, good thinking, John. You use clues from the story to predict what could happen. No, that's it, no? That's also part of drawing conclusion. Using what we know to guess possible outcomes. So, you conclude that Leo might get wet again and be stuck at school. And it happens, he forget again the umbrella, right? Alright, thank you so much for that, Leo. Okay, I have the last questions. Okay, I see Mary raising her hand. Yes, Mary. Do you want to answer the question number 3? So the question number 3 is, in your own words, what does it mean to draw a conclusion? What's it? Very good, Mary. Alright, you mentioned the lessons and what might happen, which is correct, Mary. Just remember, when we draw a conclusion, we use clues from the story. We use our thinking to understand something, and that's not directly said. So yes, no, you are right on that track. Okay, thank you, Mary. So let's proceed to the grade 5. Grade 5, it's your turn to answer the 3 questions. Alright, I can see Stacy raising her hand. Yes, Stacy. So what questions do you want to answer? Alright, this one. Okay. Mary choose the question, what is the story mostly about? Yes, Mary? Great answer, Mary. You focus on the most important part of the story. That's exactly how we find the main idea. Yes, you are correct, Mary. And it is about Leo forgetting his umbrella and learning to be prepared next time. Alright? Is that correct, Mary? Yes, thank you so much, Mary. Okay. Okay, I can see Aya raising her hand. Yes, Aya. Okay, pick your question. Okay, this is what Aya picked. So what does it mean when we say a main idea of the story? Yes, Aya? Correct, Aya. So that's the big idea, no? Yes, the main idea, everything in the story supports the main message. So that's what we look for, right? Now, the main idea is the bigger idea, or the big idea, or the message that the author wants to understand, or what the author asked to understand. All right? Okay. So I have the last question. Who wants to answer? Oh, I can see Jill. Yes, Jill. This is your question. So, can you say the main idea in one sentence? Okay, just one sentence. Oh, excellent, Jill. That's work, no? It's clear and complete, and you combine the key ideas to one sentence, which is you emphasize that the main idea is the being prepared is important, no? And friends can help you. Just remember that the main idea is what it tells, not the whole story about. Okay? Thank you so much, grade 5.
Now, for the grade 6 learners is about realizing the story events. So for the first question is, what are the most important events in the story? So can I call someone to answer the question? Okay, Yulanga. Okay, very good. Leo realized his mistake and also learned from it. Or for the second question is, can you retell the story in 2 to 3 sentences only? Can I call again someone to answer the question? Okay, Yulanga. Okay, very good. Leo forgot something important and also made a mistake. And also, he realized his error and promised to be more careful. And also, in the end, he learned that being responsible means remembering out during your task well. So, for the third question is, in your own words, what does it mean to summarize a story? So, can I call again someone to answer the question? Okay, Yolanda. Very good. Summarizing means getting only the most important details and also writing and or saying them in a short way without extra stories. So we discover that understanding a story is not just about reading the words. It is also about thinking deeply, like drawing conclusions and also identifying the main idea and also summarizing the events. The important events. So for the grade 4 learners, you show that you can learn lessons from the drawing conclusion, and also for the grade 5, you were able to identify the main idea or what the story is really about. And also for the grade 6 learners, great job because you are good for summarizing the key events clearly. So always remember that every story teaches us something valuable. So the next time you read, don't just understand the story, but also connect it to connect it in your life and also learn from it.
Now, before we proceed to our discussion, we will read another short story entitled The Forgotten Assignment. No? While reading this story, make sure to observe and analyze this story because I have a set of questions later on. Okay, we will read it together. The Forgotten Assignment. It was a busy morning, and Carlo rushed to get ready for school. While eating breakfast, he suddenly remembered that he had an assignment due that day. He thought about doing it quickly, but he decided to just finish it later in school. When he arrived in class, his teacher announced that they would check the assignment right away. Carlo felt nervous because he had not done it yet. He looked at his classmates who were ready with their work. During recess, Carlo sat quietly and started working on his assignments. His friend noticed and said, "Next time, you should do it early so you won't worry." Carlo nodded and realized his mistake. From that day on, he made sure to finish his tasks at home before coming to school. Now, since you already read, analyze, and observe, I will now give the questions in regards to this story. No? I want you to listen and answer the questions carefully. Okay, the first question is, who is the main character of the story? Alright, the main character is Carlo. Now, second question is, what assignment did Carlo forget? Correct. Carlo forgot to do his assignment that was due that day. The third question is, why did Carlo feel nervous in class? Okay, he felt nervous because the teacher checked the assignment right away. And the fourth question is, what did Carlo realize about his actions? Carlo realized that delaying his work caused him stress and problems. Okay. And the fifth question is, what lesson did Carlo learn from the experience? Alright, he learned to finish his task early at home to avoid worry and be prepared for class. Okay, now that we understand what happened in the story, let's think beyond what is directly stated. For the grade 4 learners, reflect on the meaning and answer this question. What do you think Carlo learned even if it was not directly stated in the story? Very good answers, grade 4. You were able to think what what is not written in the story. That shows you are learning how to draw conclusions by using clues and your own ideas. Alright. Drawing. Okay, we will now proceed to the lesson, drawing conclusions. No? Drawing conclusion means understanding something that is not directly stated in the story. Instead of finding the answer word for word, we use clues and our own thinking to figure out the deeper meaning. For example, even though the story did not directly say it, we can conclude that Carlo learned to be responsible and to complete his assignments early because he felt nervous and changed his behavior afterwards. Now, to better understand this, let's break it down simply with these steps. Step 1. First, we identify the clues from this story. No? In this case, the clues are Carlo felt nervous and he was unprepared. And he changed his behavior afterward. No? In step 2. Second, we use our prior knowledge or experience. No? We know that when someone feels nervous because they are not ready, it often means they realize their mistake and want to improve. Okay, the third step is we connect the clues and our knowledge. No? Since Carlo felt nervous and then changed his actions, we can understand that he learned a lesson from his experience. And finally, the step 4, we form the conclusion. No? In this, even if the story did not directly say it, we can say that Carlo learned to be responsible and to do his assignments early. Okay. No? This shows that drawing conclusions is not just simply guessing. It is a careful process of looking for clues, thinking about what we already know, and forming logical ideas. That's all for the topic, drawing conclusions. We will now move on to the next topic, identifying the main idea.
And now, grade 5, based on the story and what we read, what is the story mainly about? Yes, Mika? Very good. So, what you just did is identifying main idea. So, that is called the main idea. So, the main idea tells us what the story is mostly about. So, it is the central message or the most important point that the author wants us to understand. So when we identify the main idea, we do not focus just one part only, but instead we look at the whole text and ask, what is this story mainly trying to tell me, or what is this story mainly trying to tell us? So for example, the main idea of the story is that students should be responsible in doing their school tasks on time to avoid problems and stress. So that is the example of the main idea on the story in the story that we read earlier, or in the story of Carlos. So that is the example of the main idea. So teacher, how to get the main idea? How to identify the main idea? So to know it better, let's break it down step by step. So first we'll look at the important details in the story. So we look at the important details. So what are the important details? Can someone tell me from grade 5? Yes? Angel? Very good. So the important details in the story are, now Carlos forgot his assignment. He felt pressured or nervous or stressed. And then he rushed to finish it. Very good. Then next, for the second one is we ask, what do these details have in common? So all the three that I mentioned, that Carlos forgot his assignment, he felt pressured or nervous or stressed, and he rushed to finish it. Those are the consequences of not being able, of not being responsible, and not managing time properly. And next, for the last one, we combine these details into one clear and general statement. So we combine, so that becomes the main idea, which is the students should be responsible and finish their task on time to avoid problems and stress. So that is the main idea of the story of Carlos. So the details that Carlos forgot his assignment, he felt pressured or stressed, and he rushed to finish it, it supports the main idea that students should be responsible and do their tasks on time. So that evidence shows that the main idea is not just a small part, but it's not a small part of the story, but it is the big idea that connects all the details together. So understand? All right. So when we can identify it, we understand the story more clearly and deeply. So that's all for identifying the main idea. And now, grade 6. Based on the story, can you retell the important events of the story in order? Yes, Stephanie? Very good. So what you just did is summarizing story events. So that is called summarizing story events. So it means retelling the most important parts of the story from beginning to the end using your own words. So when we summarize, we do not include every single detail. So instead, we focus only on the key events that help us understand what happened in the story. So we do not, to create a good summary, we need to follow correct sequence of events. So this means arranging what happened first, next, then, and last. For example, first, Carlo forgot his assignment at home. Next, he felt nervous when the teacher checked it in class. Then, he hurriedly worked on it during recess. Finally, he learned his lesson and promised to be more responsible in the future. So that is the example of summarizing story events. So this is the example on the story of Carlos. So teacher, how to summarize story events? So to know it better, so let's break it down step by step. So first, we identify the important events in the story. So here's the important events in the story. Carlo forgot his assignment. He felt nervous in class. He rushed to finish it, and he learned a lesson. So these are the important events in the story. So what will be the next? So the next is we arrange these events in the correct order from beginning, middle, and the end. So, and next, for the third one, so we arrange them from beginning, middle, and the end. And lastly is the third one, so we retell them in our own words in a short and clear way. So it shows that summarizing is not copying the story, but it is selecting the most important events, organizing them properly, and expressing them briefly. So understood? Alright, very good. So when we're summarizing summarize well, we can easily understand and explain the whole story without repeating every detail. And that's all for summarizing story events. And now I have a question. So I will give you 1 minute to think of your answer here. So for the number 1, this is for grade 4. For number 2, this is for grade 5. And for number 3, this is for grade 6. So can I have a volunteer to answer these 3 questions? Alright, so think first your answer. Okay, I will give you 1 minute to think. And your time starts now. Alright, so time is up. For grade 4, and the number 1, what does drawing conclusion mean? Alright? Can I have Kyla or... Very good. So, always remember class that drawing conclusion is not guessing. So, we use clues from the story and we use our prior knowledge to come up with a logical idea. And now for the number 2, how do we find the main idea of a text? Can I have John? Alright. Very good, exactly. So the main idea is the big idea or the message, big message in the story. So it is not just about the one event, but it is the idea that connects all the important details. Very good. So now for the grade 6, for the number 3, what is summarizing story events? Yes, can I have Glyza? Alright? Exactly, no? So a good summary is short, clear, and in sequence. So we only include important events, not all the details. So very good, everyone. Now that you have learned these three important skills in reading. So now, what is the important thing you learned today? Right? Very good. So that we learned important skills in reading, such as the drawing conclusion, identifying the main idea, and summarizing story events. So very good. So now, how can you use these skills in reading? How? Alright, can I have Jara? Okay, Jara. Very good, no? So always remember, class, that when we draw conclusion, you understand ideas that are not directly stated. And when you find the main idea, you know what the story is mainly about. And when you summarize, when you can summarize, you can explain the story clearly and briefly using your own words. So very good, everyone. No? So class, good readers do not just read, but they think, understand, and explain.
Thank you, teacher. So class, did you hear that? Good readers don't just read. They think, explain, and understand. Now it's your turn to show your understanding, but in a creative way. Okay, so now we are going to have a split class activity, which means each grade level will have a different task. But before all of that, I have here a short story. Okay, are you familiar with the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf? Okay, some of you are familiar and some are not. But I have here a copy of this story. So what are you going to do is, after reading the story, each grade level will have a visual output. Okay, so for grade 4, I want you to draw a scene from the story where the villagers did not believe the boy. At the bottom of it, write a short explanation answering this question. Why do you think the villagers did not believe the boy? I repeat, for the grade 4 learners, I want you to draw a scene out from the story And after drawing, write a short explanation at the bottom of it, answering these questions. Why do you think the villagers did not believe the boy? Are we clear? Okay, so for grade 5 learners, your task is a little bit different, okay? You will create a graphic organizer that shows the main idea of the story. So here, I have an example of a graphic organizer. In the middle part is you will write the main idea of the story with 4 supporting details on each side. Are we clear? Okay. For grade 6 learners, here's your challenge. So for the grade 6 learners, you will create a storyboard by arranging the events of the story in the correct order. So make sure your sequence shows what happened from the beginning up to the end. Okay, are we good? Alright, so once you are done, take a picture of your work and upload it to the link that I have provided. Okay, just click the plus button, upload your work, and make sure to include your name and grade. Okay, so to guide you, your work will be graded based on the rubric that I also provided. So make sure that your work is clear, complete, and most especially creative. So remember, even though you have different tasks, you all read the same story. So think carefully, be creative, and do your best. You have 5 minutes in finishing the task, and you may begin. Okay, time's up. Okay, class, remember this. A simple story like The Boy Who Cried Wolf teaches us a very important truth. Once trust is broken, it is hard to bring it back. So as learners and as individuals, always choose to be honest, because your words only have power when people believe in you.
Class, now we have reached the end of our lesson, and now it is time to check what you have learned today. I will distribute your assessment papers. And please do not start writing until I give a go signal. Now for grade 4, you are working on drawing conclusions. Look at your part 1 and part 2. For grade 5, you are the big picture thinkers and check your main idea sections. Now for grade 6, you are our summary editors, and I want you to look at your sequencing task. Please check if you have the correct papers. Alright, everyone has their paper. You have 10 minutes. You may now begin. Alright, your time is up. Now, please put your pens down and we will move on to your assignment. Now for grade 4, draw one scene from a story where a character is feeling sad or happy. I want you to draw and explain one character's emotion. Alright? Now for grade 5, find a short article at home and write a new headline or title for it captures the main idea. No, I want you to find an article at home and create a new headline for it. Alright? Now for grade 6, I want you to think about the most important thing you did today. You are the daily reporters for this, no? I want you to summarize using the somebody wanted but so method. Alright, any question? None so far? All good? Alright. Now please pass your paper at the center of the aisle as you line up. Alright, and you are now dismissed. Thank you so much, grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6, and have a great day ahead.